everybody. Welcome to Two Exiles, One Portal. I'm once again joined by Casper. I am Mr. Coffee, and we're looking at gems and all the other stuff that shit's been teased.
Accruing, yeah. We try to do this because it's impossible to keep up with so many of the teasers that they're doing. So like always, we try to let a few go by and then see like, all right, it might be enough now to talk, have a good conversation. And we were just looking through all of the changes of these are not transfigured gems; these are just regular gems. The changes in the regular gems.
They just, oh,
Oh
sorry,
no,
I'm actually going through here, and I just noticed that they actually, I think the change to Sniper's mark is a nerf. Yeah, it's a hard nerf, not
yeah.
a hard.
The from what I can find, like tornado shot. Look at tornado shot. I
Mhm.
think tornado shot is a nerf. It costs more mana, and now it's one less projectile.
They also added, but the thing is if you look at Sniper's Mark and Tornado Shot, thank goodness they're on the same like little area.
Mm.
Um, Tornado Shot is at least a rebalance. You're getting projectile speed and attack speed 80% of base, which is pretty good because you get more projectile speed. You're already building a whole bunch of attack speed, so the 80% of base is not going to be that much. But I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know how much the projectile speed is like
I
worthwhile,
mean,
other
I
than the
always
fact
thought that
that
skills like tornado shot, it's the number of projectiles which really amps up the damage.
I think so.
Because
But with that, I don't know. Yeah,
if you lose
I
enough,
don't. Is there a tornado shot that bounces?
that's I think if you do it with the support gem, then brings them back. So yeah, I forgot what
Well, then,
that
yeah,
support
the
gem is
returning
called.
projectiles. But I was
Yeah.
thinking there might have been one where it bounces off like corners and stuff. And if that were the case, then it would be better.
No, I don't think there's a transfigure gem for tornado shot. I don't. Let me
But
see.
if you notice, like Sniper's Mark just got a fucking straight hit, two half for the projectiles. At least tornado shot loses like only a quarter. But we lose projectiles and we lose the projectile damage amp.
I don't see a transfigure gem for tornado shot at the very least. No, there is a tornado shot of cloud bursts. Fires a
Yeah,
payload
that would be
arrows in the
exciting.
air to land at a target location. It will then fire arrows in all directions in that point. Doesn't really do a good job of describing. So it's kind of like the description kind of reads almost like rain of arrows. Like you fire single payload arrows into the air, and then it lands at a targeted location. It will then fire arrows in all directions from that point. So it doesn't bounce. So it's just more like, how is this different than a regular tornado shot? Because tornado shot, you shoot an arrow in a specific direction, it goes, and when it lands, it then shoots out arrows from that distance. So how is cloudburst any different?
I have no idea. I think just like the damage numbers are different and like projectile speeds and shit.
Uh, well, it does. It says fire 9 arrows. So so it's 9 arrows that shoots out for cloudburst. I haven't played this tornado shot in ages. They made some changes to this. Projectiles fire from where the payload arrow lands. Hmm. So maybe I guess if you're playing cloudburst, I guess maybe this zinc is not going to impact you. But if I'm not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, the I'm reading as I'm talking. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm doing
if you,
basically the same thing I'm reading while listening.
this is a single arrow. The cloudburst is a single arrow. So you shoot one skill that lands in a specific spot and then it shoots out. Versus tornado shot that shoots 3 arrows that explode. So I think that's the fundamental difference between these two skills.
They changed kinetic bolt to fragmentation as well, and kinetic blast at that.
Hold on, let me. Which one you said?
Kinetic bolt of fragmentation.
Oh yeah. That's a big change. I don't know if it's for the better. I never
It,
understood how kinetic blast operates
it's a
to
nerf.
begin with.
It's a
It's a
nerf.
nerf.
Yeah.
Oof. Wait, it
It's
was a
not a
nerf
big
last league
nerf.
too.
No.
No,
No.
didn't they
That
change it
was
last league?
kinetic bolt of fragmentation was one of the craziest shit you could build.
That's the
It
one you
was
use for the fireways, correct?
no, that's
No.
kinetic blast.
Oh, see, it's fucking names, man. All right. So kinetic bolt is used typically for what? Is that the one that runs through the
Some
floor?
people that was the one where people were like, it makes a zigzag on the floor,
Yeah, like a
but
like
and
electrocution.
fragmentation plus sniper's mark was making another subset. And then they're stacking obviously like greater projectiles and all kinds of stuff like that. So they were unlike a boss, they're creating like hundreds of projectiles. And they're doing so much damage and shit. It was ridiculous. It was one of the coolest things that I've ever seen. I'll have to show you the video later.
I mean, it's not a hard. It's not a hard.
That's
15%.
that's two 15%.
It says
And that's
effectiveness of
and
added damage. I guess.
yeah. They nerfed both sides of that equation.
I guess.
Not like a crazy amount. I know it's not like 50%, but like that's a nerf. But they also changed the projectile changes one more time than it did before. So
I.
it might help out. It's like clear,
Mm-hmm.
but its bossing has been, I think, like heavily touched. I don't know if it's really like bad because at the same point they had so many like projectiles. I'm not sure if a 800 million is really all that much different than a billion, but
I
like
mean,
that is
creatures only have so much health.
there is a I don't know. I think in Delve there's a different cap for all kinds of shit.
um, this I hate to say this, but this is going to be a necro league. Like
I don't know, bro.
the amount of buffs. I'm just looking at all of the like minion, like everything got buffed across the board. All minion stuff got buffed. I can't find one minion. Like I'm looking at Holy Relic. Maybe that got like it's a thick ass paragraph. I don't know. Even,
Penance brand also got nerfed.
I've never ran a penance brand. I don't even know
Penance
how.
brand was like a really good thing last league for not very much investment.
Mm,
Like people were just slapping shit on and going penance brand, and it was really good. And obviously, GGG agrees because they took away 50% or no 15% of added damage, and they nerfed its base physical damage. They increased how much time it takes to activate. Pulses now deal 10% less, and pulses deal 30% less after the first pulse. That's crazy. That is a very interesting nerf. I feel it. I feel it. I don't know if that's like an orbit nuke, but that is definitely a bomb.
well, it's also about they're probably just trying to. I mean, depending on how. I mean, was it overused in last league? So typically, that's usually how they determine like whether or not
I
something.
don't know if it was overused, but I do know that people were re-rolling it a lot because it was capable of doing a lot of stuff, and it did not need a lot to get going.
Mhm.
So maybe as the league progressed a little bit, it did. Like when we kind of stopped, that's when Penance brand was like kind of starting to take over. People started noticing that there's something to this skill. Like,
Okay. Um.
let's see.
Oh, I promised myself I would do this. This is your first reminder for clicking buttons. Um.
Oh, you know what? I only feel like not dirty bringing up buttons because we have given him a taste. You want the rest of the cookie, guys? No, I'm kidding.
Stop the episode right here. Just like lock it.
Lock that
Only
shit.
for subscribers at this point.
No, please press buttons. Let us know that you want us to continue talking about all this stupid shit and getting our scrubby ass fucking opinions.
The what build? I think you decided on what build you're going.
Oh yeah. I think I'm league starting Poisonous Concoction, and then I'm gonna kind of see how the meta develops, and then probably roll some like crazy meta blaster, hopefully.
And there hasn't been no change to that, right? I think you did mention something before we started recording.
I not one that I see.
All right. I don't see nothing on the changes, so I think as far as skills is concerned, poison concoction, there is a change. There is, I think they added one. Poison
They added
concussion
an
of bouncing.
alternate. Yeah, where you throw one and then it kind of just bounces around and like acts like the volcano
That
skill.
feel like magma. What is it? Magma
Yeah.
bomb? Come on, like you're recycling skills though.
I'm actually kind of happy about that because that was one of the issues that I was having with doing it the first time I went poison concoction. It was harder to scale for bosses because your projectile, the way that you would run it is you would run volley and greater multiple projectiles, so you're cutting your damage a lot.
Mhm.
But in mapping, it doesn't really matter. So it was a really good mapper. But being able to get the other one, yeah. This is gonna help bossing out a lot because you could throw like a whole bunch of shit in the same place and then it booms. Or I will go Hex Blast Mines as a league starter. I don't know which. I'm actually like torn.
Well, did they did change the left click? They mentioned
Uh,
this. Like you
right,
can't
but
explode mines on left click anymore.
well, to be fair, the socket pressure on mines is but it's actually pretty bad on. You know what?
You're gonna have to double check that. I they did say that they talked about it extensively during.
It'll actually be fine. I know they did do that, but they added something that added some functionality, and I'm not sure. I feel like it'll be okay as long as I don't have to have it within my 6 link. If I could put it like in a random ass slot, then I think I'll be all right.
Mm.
Like and I know that sucks. I'll probably lose a curse, which will lose damage, but hopefully it'll be okay. I want it to be okay. I want it to really be okay.
I mean,
Like
trappers is usually the go to when it comes to boss killing. Generally speaking, hex
yeah.
blast. Oh, ice. I know they made changes to some of the some of the mines.
What about
Um.
you? Have you could put it other
Oh.
than like
Oh, I'm
generic
going.
menu?
I'm probably either going Absolution. You did put one on the map for me when it comes to dominating blow. I never done
Yeah.
that before. So I might go get out of my comfort zone. I might go that. I'll have to just take a look at it to see what it looks like and see how
Or
hard
you
it is
could
to
go
build.
something like super like I know for a fact with all these changes, there's no way SRS is going to be bad.
Now, to be honest with you, I never really enjoyed the playstyle of SRS.
Okay.
Never. It's just like the having to stop cast, and then run cast. Like it's not bad once you get really like towards the end, like end top tier of the build because you can cast a lot. And it usually
I
doesn't
can
feel bad.
also I can also I think don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure I could turn an SRS into a looper
Nah, I'm
if
fine.
you
I'm fine.
really don't want
No,
to summon.
that's your realm of builds.
Right, but I don't want to make another looper next league. I want to make something else. I think I
So
want to make like
don't
an elemental hit.
don't make a looper. Like you don't have to make it. Like I
I,
feel like it's a
the only
responsibility.
the only reason I don't want to now is because I realize how much currency goes into it.
I mean, but that's what's fun, and you once you get to that point where it's like, just
But by that
whatever.
time I'm burned out and I only like run it for like 3 or 4 days and then everybody stops playing and I'm like, fuck man. Like,
But I mean, all right, let's be honest now. You don't make a looper for group play.
that's also true.
Like so, that's a solo project. Like it's like if you what's another build? Like if you make a flicker build, like you don't make a flicker build for let's do group play. No, you're never gonna be next to like it's impossible to keep up with a flicker build. They just all over the damn map. You know what I mean? So it's like the few times that I map with you with the with
The ward
the
looper.
war loop. It's torture, bro. Like I can't. Like it's like it. Not only is it torture because of the flashbangs, I can get over that, but it's more like I can't touch anything. I'm literally just following you the entire time because everything just either dies before he comes into the map or everything just like freezes to death because especially the cold convert. So it's not that it's a bad character. It's just not really created for party play.
Which is why, which is a, I guess is another reason, right? So I was thinking elemental hit as like my late game thing
Mm.
because that can be party played. I only do damage up to like a screen away, I guess, and then we can like boss, especially this league because bossing might be like really
Yeah,
good.
I'm going straight boss killer. I'm going like I was trying to do that with my bone shatter, but I underestimated the price of melee weapons. I was like, bro, I cannot afford any of this stuff, and I can't even build any of this stuff. So it was just easy to go a Sparker, even though I've spent, I think the equivalent of a end game melee axe two handed on the Sparker. So roughly 60 to 80 divs on my Sparker. And that Sparker was 10 times stronger as far as damage is concerned. Not survivability because I had Autobots, but to like party play with you guys.
Yeah, you did oodles of damage.
So it's like, it's such a weird thing because obviously when you're building, like I have to spend the equivalent of one character for a weapon. Um it kind of feels bad in a sense because it's like I like I always wanted to make an in-game melee character. It's just the ceiling is so damn high sometimes. And by the time I'm able to even ramp up and start to afford that kind of stuff, I start getting burnt out. And it's just like it's not even worth it anymore. Like you lose the fun of it.
I suppose that's I get you because it's like once I make my second character, I don't want to make a third already, just out of principle. We've already done like oodles of fucking farming, and it's just like fuck. I have to go do more farming so I can complete this build because apparently, I think honestly, it like had we spent like another 4 days farming, we would have been okay to make whatever the fuck we wanted.
The it feels bad. So I never was part of the school of making a second character in League, right? I was always really against that because I felt like it sets me back to zero. It wasn't until we started doing party play seriously, 2 leagues ago. I believe it was 2 leagues ago. That I've said, for the sake of this purpose, I will make another character. And I've been consistently doing it for the just solely for the purpose of party play. So either I'll make a Orbot or whatever the hell that's needed. The difference is that what I notice is that if I get frustrated if I cannot continue to scale my main character, my solo character, and
Mm.
the margin to go from mid tier to end tier, it becomes this gigantic Mount Everest where everything else is like, you can see the gradual steps. Like you need this step, it costs you, 2 or 3 divs, 2 or 3 divs, 2 or 3 divs, 4 or 5, 10 divs. Okay, this Watcher's Eye, which is rare, 10 divs. Okay, that's okay. Medium, mid tier, no problem. And then something about some builds, and I always see it in melee. And this is why I always bitch about it. That you get to a certain point where you need this, and also start getting even getting remotely close to not killing Ubers, just killing regular bosses. You need a 80 div axe when everything else costs under 5 divs. As far
So far.
as like gear and stuff like that, but your axe you need 80 divs, and it's just saying like what? It's impossible to farm 80 divs when you can't barely farm the like regular stuff. So I
I
mean,
feel you, but I feel like I don't know because when I was making my ward loop, and I was sitting there, and I got it almost all complete because I was working on some of the gear before I actually swapped over. Like while waiting for you, I'd like try to craft my boots and shit like that. Um, the thing that really like bugged me is that when I got to the point where to make it function, I needed a 60 div that which was taken, and so I feel you, but at least your other one was functioning before that.
That's true. I mean, but your ward opener is a mean build.
It's an
It's
awesome build.
but it's meme in a sense like if you don't have everything, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah,
Like
it's very particular.
the Bone Shatter build is like it's a starter build, bro. This build is not like difficult at all. Like it's
No,
pretty
but you're
basic.
immortal at the end of it, right?
I mean, yeah, I mean you kill yourself, but I mean, yeah, as long as
Yeah,
you
but
play smart, you'd be fine.
yeah, you're
The
immortal. Like,
it's the scaling up where I find it frustrating. Where it doesn't really exist in other characters other than meme builds, where it's like a flicker. I've done a flicker build before, where I'll spend 50 divs on basic gear, and a typical end game functional flicker build, you need at least that much, give or take. And then you come across, oh, I need a better ring, and it's like, what's the better ring? 120 divs. But but then
yeah, but
but then
those
you look
the
at the ring, and I showed it to you. It looks insane.
yeah.
It's
The
like
thing
mirror
is,
tiered, so you understand it. You're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I could see why that. But they
but that's when we have to like. Okay, so I'm gonna propose something this league. I think both of us should put like actual effort into learning this crafting system that's coming up.
Well, I'm going straight. I'm gonna since this is the first state that they're doing this. I'm gonna go. At least one of my Atlas maps is gonna be straight content, like the Necropolis
The
content.
league content.
Yeah,
Because I want to get because from what I've seen, we can make
and
some crazy shit.
you can't skip it. You can't skip
You
it.
can't
So
continue.
it's gonna be part of everything you do. So
And not to mention, yo, can we just talk about the fact that they're actually giving it Atlas fucking
tabs.
support? No, not even like tabs, but
Uh,
Atlas support.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So one of my Atlas. I don't know what we call it, Atlas tabs, but one of my Atlas maps or tabs, whatever, it's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be just that content. It's good.
But
So I'm gonna
I
be
just
playing
find
around with
that
that.
awesome because that's never happened.
No, this is the first time. I said it. It's the
Things
first time they're trying it out, and they said it made sense. It's like, why not? We never tried this before, So it might either be giga broken or just trash.
I think
Either way, we
I
don't
think
know.
what's gonna end up happening, dude, is because this is who was it that brought it up during that interview? It makes sense that they're doing a crafting league right now, and I'm really excited about this. The reason being is the last time there was a good crafting options that weren't like overly verbose and just super complicated. It was recombinators, and I didn't get to make very many giga broken items when recombinators are a thing, and I want to make at least one this league. It doesn't have to be mirror tier. I realize how hard of a gap that was last league.
Yeah.
Fucking mirror tier items are fucking dumb, but I want to make something just like
Well, yeah.
stupid.
Lastly, we know it was the Magic Find. That was the Magic
Yeah.
Find. No Lupin Jodas. It's not gonna be the same this league. It's not gonna be the craziness
Right.
that we saw.
But the crafting, we can.
Yeah.
The thing is that's the good part, right? So even if they nerf us to the point where we're not making very much money, we can get corpse rich.
Yeah. And I think that whoever is running these maps, we're gonna have to seriously choose what we're targeting from because this is a good segue into the scarabs. The
True.
scarabs, as they are right now, the way they change them, bro, they are either super targeted and super OP right now. If you can get your hands on what exactly combination that you want, is for exactly content you want to run.
So what do we want to do this league? Do we want to do
That's a
beast?
good question. it all like they've added some beast. Like Black Morgan is now a beast.
Cool.
Yeah, and he teased it in the Scissoring interview, and he asked like, what craft? He's like, you're gonna have to find out. So that may be a crazy craft. The the divination card now. There's a divination. It's called Divination Scarab of Curation. You can replace the maps, the div cards from your favorite maps into the one you're about to host.
Yeah, so all we'd have to do is this favored map,
Yeah,
Crimson,
yeah.
if that's the strategy we're going for.
Yeah, like basically, if you want to run a different linear map or whatever the case may be, to get that, there's, I mean, take your pick, bro. Like,
I kind of want to do beasts and alpha temples.
oh, the ones that explode or the ones you go in.
The ones that you go in.
Okay.
Because I want to get so
Strong. I tell you right now. I know Mew's gonna love this one, but the strong boxes one, bananas.
Ooh.
Yeah, because they the strong box ones, they made it so strong boxes and essences. Now, you know, you can make the argument of like, but essences like late game is not as, you know, it's good to sell, but not really. But they made it in which essences now you can basically every rare monster could be locked into an essence in a map.
Oh.
And then for what was the first one I mentioned?
Sorry, I'm trying to find these. The first one that you mentioned was ambush.
Ambush. Yeah.
Strong boxes.
Yeah. So now, so ambush, there are, which one is it?
I think essences again are going to be a solo farm thing though, or maybe not.
It depends. It depends. So there's a scarab that you can use up to 4 that contains 5 additional strong boxes, and that's the thing. That's another important thing about the scarabs, that they actually have limits now, and they tell you how much you can use. So they're not mutually exclusive. Not all of them. Now most
so there's a limit to each of the types, is what you're saying.
yeah. So you can use one, for example, of the.
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
So now you can if you have, ideally you have the 5 slots, you can put 3 of those suckers in, put one of the other ones, and then put like your map is gonna be crazy. So it's
Okay.
I don't think you can be poor no matter what you choose. It just doesn't matter what you choose and what we choose. It's just gonna be even Expedition, which I know is one of your favorites.
Oh, I haven't even looked at expedition carriers.
Expedition counters our area are led by Danon.
Oh no, it's over.
Like, that's a scarab.
All right, so I foresee something in the future right now. I foresee me and Miyu having a legitimate argument over what we're gonna farm.
And there's another one. Expedition Scarabs Verusium Powder. Encounters in the area have 20% increased number of explosives, 80% explosive radius. So it's kind of like the Big Boom, but Scarab version.
I think scarabs.
It's
and abyss. No, not abyss. The other one, ambush. I think we can draw like a mutual ground with that with me, because
we can take turns though. See, what's great about right now, what is great about the Atlas map and what they're doing is that
that's also true.
You could just have multiple ones. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, this is gonna kill Orbs of Unmaking, right? That they're gonna be worth like transmutes. Like, they're not gonna be that very valuable. But once you have that 1 or 2 maps, you can just swap back and forth. It's not gonna be such a big investment. You're like, oh, we don't want to run that.
We could do it daily.
Yeah,
but it also changes our prep time. I know I'm not talking shit. Understand? Please understand here. I'm like 100% not talking shit. you did not deal with the amount of prep time for just one strategy, and then Miyu was always trying to tweak that strategy.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Like
Yeah,
that shit was a fucking nightmare, dude.
yeah,
I
because there's
and
a lot of
you know it's
trading.
not my favorite. Yeah, you know it's not my favorite thing to do. I don't like trading all that fucking much. God, fucking
Because
damn. Plus
you're
the fact that I was selling.
it's not even trading like one or two. You're trading like 15, 20, 30 of one item, and then you need another 15, 20 of this item, and then it's like, and then obviously you can't get it all from one vendor. You have, I mean, one player. You have to get it from like 3, 4 different players. It's like,
I was hoping that Miyu was just going to take up that role, and he didn't. Because I took up the
I'm
role of
sure
selling.
that no, what I'm sure is that it's not that he doesn't want to, right? And I feel like we're like bashing Mew right now, but I think what it is that I think he gets burnt out by it too. Like it's just a lot of work.
I know, but I was doing my job. You were doing your job. We are all doing our job.
So
Like, and I just feel like because it was one of those things where you would get off, and then me, you would get off, and I'm still trading, still listing shit, still organizing stuff. But when I'm sitting
oh,
there and we're
you was the camp mom. That's what it
right,
was.
and it's just like fuck, dude, I really don't want to be this right now. Like, but the trading itself was fine. I didn't want to buy and sell. That shit was too much.
I mean, look, there's nothing wrong with having that conversation, right? Like, be like, look, I'm okay with selling portion and managing the whatever that part, but I find the buying too overwhelming. Like if we're doing this part, like that's nothing we can discuss and work out. And again, if we can't come to an agreement, then
I was just saying that I was hoping that he would just kind of do it, and he didn't.
I mean, yeah, look, it is what it is, right?
I know. I'm not talking shit. It was just hope.
No,
That's all I'm saying. It was just like fuck.
look. I don't have a dog in the game since I'm not the one doing either thing, right? When I'm on, I help as much as I can, but you gotta
I
let me know exactly what the fuck you need because I don't know shit about this.
I also feel like we need to recruit. I know this sounds fucking weird. We need to recruit a crafter.
Not a
Like,
crafter, but someone with knowledge of crafting. If that does
right.
that make sense?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
sense.
yeah. But that's my whole point. We recruit the crafter because he's the one that's going to help us like understand when I don't have to spend 90 divine on something.
That's true. That's how do you even begin to recruit someone like that?
I think I don't know. I think we could go to like the Path of Exile Discord because I know it's a thing. And
Yeah, but
then
anyone can claim like, yeah, I know about crafting.
but there's limits. I can ask like for instance, I know items and how a couple items that are like very specific crafts. I know a couple questions to ask and be like, "Hey man, do you know how to make this?" And that kind of thing.
We got to yeah, you got to come. We would have to come up with a strategic way of
Making
like
sure,
filtering out people who bullshit and people who are you
yeah,
know.
because if you know how to craft something that's like, as a matter
Now
of
the
fact,
question is that if they're going to be the crafter, are they also going to be part of our party play?
of course,
So that means that we would potentially have a fifth with the occasional fourth from
we would have a fourth with the occasional fifth.
yeah, okay, yeah,
Sure.
that's yeah, English, yeah.
Like it's, I don't think it would be all that bad. And with the money we would save, I wouldn't mind divvying up the parts and losing what is that 8%?
Mhm.
Because we would go from 20 or 33% each to a quarter. It's not all that much. We're still making, especially if we're doing like a good strategy and we're fucking actually making
I mean,
dough.
well, yeah, if it's that extra person in it that's bumping that the rarity up. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that
So we
offsets
end up,
the
yeah, yeah. It offsets the negatives. I
mhm.
think having a good person like that would be useful for us knowing how to craft certain items that are maybe a little bit nicher than the ones that we currently know how to craft. I
What's
think
up?
that would just be a fucking major boon.
So we if we go down the strat, that fourth person would have to be a curse spell. What's the fifth? That's just the body.
Basically, or looter.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Looter.
Yeah, because that's a fucking job. And so there are
So
jobs to
that
be
that
filled.
that has to be the fourth then. Looter curse bot. That's what your job is, bro. Just pick up everything. Just
Pick up shit, curse shit when you
look up
can.
all the belts. Look at all the belts.
All of them. And even then,
Just look at them.
that is going to be a nightmare for someone. Like I'm not even trying to downplay someone's fucking involvement in this. That'll be a job worthy of your fucking cut. I promise.
The Bark was saying, made comments about that, like, he was seeing the amounts of leather belts and heavy belts that were dropping, and it was just like, there are that many belts. How can you
Yeah.
spawn that many belts in one map? And it's just like, yeah, bro, like it gets
Dude, were you
bananas.
seeing? I know that like we for a while there we were turning off our loot filter and letting me handle that part.
Yeah, every now and then. I think I know that Alex crashed a bunch of times by doing it.
Yeah, dude, there's
I
so much.
crashed twice.
I do. I was. I think I crashed once or twice due to accidentally hitting alt because I'm
Yeah,
like, oh
yeah,
yeah, I need to look at this thing that I just
yeah.
identified. Like,
Your program just seizes.
yep, and it's just like, oh shit, yeah. And
So
there was a couple times where other people did it, and I was just like, fuck, there goes a portal.
yeah. So but yeah, I think either way, either content, I think it's gonna be based on whatever we prefer. Obviously
And that
Mew's
doesn't.
gonna have his own preference. And I
Yeah,
think we have to, what's the word?
parlay.
Yeah, in a sense. Like, be like, hey, listen, if you prefer this method, then you gotta be responsible for getting the stuff. Like if you choosing to do expedition, for example, just as a random example, then you don't need this amount, and then you just build it over time and just get all the stuff that you get in. So when you're ready to run it, we'll run 20 of these,
Yep,
right? And
I'm
then
down.
we'll blast 20 of those, and then let's just say, oh, we did 20, and then you already prepped 20, and then let's say cause I love Beyond. I fucking love Beyond. I don't know if there's
Really?
wait, Beyond is the ones that you kill
Spawn
shit.
after you kill him.
Yeah, I fucking love it. I don't know why.
I
I think
I'm not gonna
it's not
lie.
for
I
loot.
died to Beyond so many fucking times because I forget it happens, and then I'm looking at something on the floor, and then it kills me. I'm like, oh right.
And then the reason why I love Beyond, especially now more than ever, is because there's a scarab called Beyond Scarab of Invasion. Unique monsters slain in the area create 8 to 12 more additional Beyond portals.
Oh my fucking god, dude.
uh, I can just imagine that. It's it's that's fun, bro. Like, I don't a unique monster. Oh, you could pair this with Exiles.
Oh no, please no. I hate Rogue Exiles.
Well, I'm just saying, if you wanted to run this banana ass map where you have the 20 exiles in your map, and every time you pop one of those exiles, 8 to 12 beyond portals pop out.
That's fair, but
But
that sounds like hell for my fucking computer.
the point is that if there's a specific type of like strat that we want to do or try, or I think you should be responsible for getting it on. I think that's fair. I mean, obviously we all have each other's role. Like, okay, I'll be the whatever, and then you be whatever, and then the cursor, looter, and whatever. That those roles will stay fixed, but at least the individual tactics. And I think as we go through, there'll be space to help each other, of course. But I think, in all fairness, like,
I have to be careful with builds.
that's true. I think that's true. I think within reason, right? If there's something that half of us can't run because it's just not optimized for that, like Beyond, for example. Like, if there's specific modifiers that happen in Beyond that for whatever reason doesn't mesh well, then yeah, we can't do that strat. Um, the There was something else I wanted to add.
I'm out of breath, so you can keep talking. I'm just,
No, I'm thinking. There was something else that I wanted to add to that point. The as long as there's a possibility for dialogue, and we are okay with having conversation about how does this work, then I think there's space for it. I don't think it's a big deal. We've only been doing this um, for three leagues so far, right? That's what I remember.
two.
Two.
Yep.
So is this going to be the third now?
Yep.
Okay. So there's space to grow, there's space to change. I'm curious about how we will explore that recruitment process. We could probably talk a lot more offline as far as how we're gonna do it, but
Yo, send in your applications along with your button.
I mean, look, we got. I mean, how much subscribers we have? I'm sure there might be one solid dude that
Wants to go hard.
knows his shit and wants to go to the next level. Let me see. Yeah, So
We shall see.
yeah, if you drop it into the Q&A at the end, I'm actually I'm gonna change the question. Are you a crafter? And then if you are, drop it into QA. We'll put you in the Discord. We'll talk. We're not gonna ask you to go hard like us, but if you are available, if you're available, you want to hang out. If you every now and then you want to kind of run a bunch of crazy maps, then that's what you're here for. The point is that sometimes when the game is getting big, it's very deceptively big.
I don't even think there's a deception about it, bro. The game is huge. When you look at it and you think, like, just hold on, right? So let's think about this for a moment. Say you're a new player and you're like, I want to try this PoE thing, and I see a lot of stuff coming out about the fucking next league. I'm curious. And you click on Scarabs.
None of this means shit to you. None of this shit means nothing. Nothing about the Scarabs means shit to you. As a new player, nothing. Not even the Atlas maps mean nothing to you.
Right, but just because they put their like toes in the ocean doesn't mean they're even looking at that content. But sure. I mean, like, someone who just gets to it is just like, all right, you know what? Fucking playing. I want to know what the end game is going to look like. Because there are some people like that, right? Yeah. No one, not nobody, but in most situations,
they want to go to the deep end real quick.
Right. Not even that you want to go to the deep end. You want to know what the deep end looks like, right? If it's something up your alley. Like, because I look at, what does a really, really dedicated player of this game look like? Can I do it? Yo, PoE was a very resounding yes to me. But it's like, for people like that, and they look at this from the first set of glances, looking at the passive tree and maybe some of the items, and like, oh, what is my late game bow gonna look like? Fuck, bro, this shit is huge. You see that shit, and you're like, okay, how do they have 2 extra mods above the other mods?
And then the implicits, and then the. To be honest with you, sometimes I look at items and I'm saying, how the hell did they make that? And not realizing it's like synthesized, or not realizing that, forgetting like actual, like complete, what do you call this, crafting, like abilities, like forgetting that even exists because it got created like 8 leagues ago, and it's still there, and it's just a way of like, oh, this is another way of getting additional mods on there. It's just like, wait, that works still.
It's like it's fucking nutty. It's cool, but it's nutty. It's like once you start looking at it, it's some of the items you're just, I don't know where to begin. I don't even know how to, and you don't even know what question to ask.
Well, you definitely begin by pressing a button.
Absolutely.
You got to make sure you press that button and say, hey, listen, I like what you guys are talking about. I want to support you guys, and I will subscribe.
And we want to join your little army and join your guild.
Oh gosh, I don't think I can manage it. I don't think I can manage an army now. Don't.
I could do that. I can help.
You can help. No, how about you just do it? I just sit in the back like, not do
Then
anything.
I think if that's the case, then I'm not taking control of the guild because you passed me leader a long time ago, and I don't think I ever
That's
passed you
be-
back.
that's
But
because that's because you like messing with the hideout. And
it is. But now I have it for another reason. You just told me I have been pulling random people into the guild.
I'm okay with that. I fully trust you, so I'm not really
Yeah, I would never give someone moderation privileges to where like I would never accidentally give me guild leader.
to me like we spend real money on like a lot of the stuff for that guild, and it's just like I would just be bummed out like if someone just be a dick and like kind of just like
I would be
take
ultra bummed out. But the
yeah,
thing is,
because like that's kind of scummy. Like
I also played WoW for a long time, and I know that within a section of gamers, there are a subset who absolutely 100% would, just
yeah,
because that's who they are.
yeah,
And I
unfortunately,
don't know why they would do that. I don't know what's inside their head, but that's something they do. Oh yeah, I want all those hideouts, but I don't want to pay X amount of money for it. I'll take your guild. And oh, you accidentally made this. I'm just gonna kick everybody and rename it. Like I've that's just
yeah,
happened.
yeah. It's a weird like uh like you do all this for what? It's a game. Like what's wrong with you? Like, but
Well, the thing
some
is,
people like me malicious. So
you know, the thing is though, you have to remember. First of all,
problematic.
look up some game accounts on like eBay or actual like websites where you can buy video game accounts. These things are worth money.
That's
Not
true.
a lot of
Is
money, and
the I guess there is the black market of like hacking and all that jazz.
so like whenever there's money to be made, people will be there to take advantage.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just the natural order of things. But what we could do is we just make sure we safeguard it. I've made sure that I added a couple of ranks to the guild already, just to make sure that I could divvy up the
Permissions,
actual like
permissions.
yeah permissions properly.
Yeah,
So I've been working on it.
I'm
I
I'm
kind of like
always I'm always up to like nourishing new blood. I think it just becomes a bit hard to handle at a certain point when it's like you need to like, and I also want to stay away from the drama of it all. Of
oh yeah, you don't have to. The thing is
it's
is
just I'm too old
I
to be dealing with that kind of
no.
shit.
Okay, so I take a very hard stance on these types of things. I'll just fucking kick you. If there's two people that are dramaing in the guild, I'll kick them both. I don't care who's right or wrong. This is not where you do that. You could do that shit in private messages.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There is a whisper in this game. There's Discord. The guild where we're all supposed to be just working generally toward the same direction of and helping each other improve. It's not needed there. I take a hard stance on it, and just like there's no drama needed. The drama will be, why did you kick him? He's my best friend. And I'll be like, am I kicking you too? Like,
I and I think the six players or five. Why do I always forget this? Like, it's 5 player maximum
it's
groups, right?
6.
Six.
Yes,
Okay.
because there are 6
Six
portals.
portals. Yes, you're right. You're right. You're right. I think that also limits like who can play with who. I don't like the idea of like having a certain limit on who can play. And like for example, if I'm doing party play, I don't feel like I want to have to choose between these guys or that guy. I don't like. I always hated that idea. Like I want to play with whoever I know I'm gonna have fun with. Like I don't care about specifically like who farms better or who has the most drops. I'm more about like, well, I know I'm gonna have fun with these guys, so I'm just gonna go with these guys. Forget about what I get, what I get dropped. I'd rather learn the game and have fun while I'm still just like, than have an Uber strategy that you guys are just gonna go with. I think that's why primarily I avoided Path in general as far as like building a guild and just doing that process because it gets hyper competitive. I've noticed in Path.
My thing is though, is this is the problem, right? Right. So right now we only have one person that's kind of like that. The moment we get like 3 or 4 of them, they'll just talk amongst each other.
I'd be talking Chinese, like a different language, like Chinese. I would be saying, I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what are they saying?
Comparing the stats on their Giga rings or some shit. You know what I mean? Like there are people like that,
Now,
but
let's be honest. Would that
because
be
we're me
annoying
is
though?
huh?
Would that be annoying?
No more annoying than like normal general chat.
I guess. I guess.
You know,
I would just imagine that guild chat just
during, I imagine during certain times, but that's also another thing that you could
turn
just say
off.
like turn off. Yeah, like it's one of those things where again, this is why like the only thing I never turn off in the game is whispers. If I'm in game and you need to talk to me, you can whisper me, and I'll if I'm there, I will respond immediately if I can. Like, but if I'm at the point where I'm like, nah, I'm not looking for guild shit today. I'm just gonna turn off my chat and fucking farm for a while. Like that shit happens, unless it's like us where we're planning out party play, and it's just like, oh no, this is planned out time because we did pretty good with the schedule and just being and letting us each other know, and then me, you, and I were playing long enough to where we were just working around your schedule.
Mm.
So as long as like that kind of thing is still possible, which I don't see PoE removing functionality from chat.
Nah, I mean, if anything, they'll probably add. But
So
believe it or not, the functionality of Path's chat is very bare bones for
it's very bare bones, but
compared
it's
to the other
everything you
games.
need.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I know I don't need emojis. Do you know how much I would hate this fucking game if it had goddamn emojis in chat? Dude, I don't need
It's
background
amazing.
spam.
It's amazing how many pitfalls of this free game has avoided that all the other free games have like falling in balls deep.
But the fan base is like the fruit of all of those really good choices. Like most this is the thing, like most people that play Path are okay. I don't know if they're good people or
I think
anything like
that
that, but they're not great.
I think the developers are mostly millennials though. That's another problem. So they're like pre meme era, but also know about memes. Like it's like that segue in between. So they don't care about emojis and they're not big on that kind of stuff. And they're not even interested in catching that wave of like that generation of like who cares about that stuff. I think a lot of the new and even current like the free games that are coming out, even the not free games, they're trying to catch that young population of gamers. So they're
Yeah,
putting in the dances, they're putting in the emotes and all that stuff.
I'm really happy about Path generally sticking with its roots with a lot of these things because in the world right now, adult games aren't uncommon per se, but ones that you can play consistently are.
Fair enough, yeah.
Like dude, I saw the graphics of Fortnite and nearly threw up in my mouth. You know what I mean? And I was just like, because my friend was just like, "Oh, play Fortnite with me." And what the fuck is that shit? No, don't get me wrong. Play it if you want. Have fun with it if you want.
I
Not my
felt
kind of game.
I felt the same way with Minecraft.
Like, yeah, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I need something
And
to like.
then, mind you, I am a huge like back when Minecraft came out, I was one of the biggest survival sandbox lover. Like I still do. I still love those games. But Minecraft just no. Like it never appealed to me. I don't care how big
Same.
it was, no matter how many mods. I didn't care. I was like, no, I
I
can't get over
was
it.
really irritated because I've been a YouTuber, not YouTuber, but a person who watches a lot of YouTube for a long time, and I just remember there being a time, and it still like comes up now and again, where it's just like Minecraft Let's Play, Minecraft Let's Play, Minecraft Let's Play, Minecraft Let's Play, and it's just like, dude, what is? I tried watching one time, and it's just like the game is big. I get it. There's a lot of weird shit you could do. It's very like sandboxy. Nah,
It
it
has, I think it has the not. I don't want to say equivalent, but it has comparable depth like to Path. Like it's very hidden. Like you don't see it. Like you have to kind of like explore the game, and it has comparable depth. the problem is that the art style is like from the 70s or something. Like, I don't even know, bro. Like, I can't get over it. I've had this conversation with Alex. Alex is a fan of Minecraft. He was like, "Oh, you need to download this skin. You need to download the HD skins." And I'm like, "But it still looks like it's made for 5-year-olds. Like, what are you saying?" Like, I don't get me. I've played survival games and I've played in general games with bad graphics. I've played 8-bit games. Some 8-bit games out there are fun.
Oh yeah, there's actually one I'm looking at trying to get pretty soon, just
So
before
again,
Path drop.
it's more than just the graphics. It's just like, what? Like, I don't like.
The
So
gameplay has to be good enough to carry the fact that I have to look at this pixel vomit.
I have tried on like 4 different occasions to like, all right, I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna play it, and like 2 hours into it, I'm like, nope.
It's like I can't do
Can't
it.
do it. Can't do it. I can't do it. It doesn't. It's just not. I can't get desensitized enough to ignore it enough to like say I'm gonna have fun with this game. No. So
Yeah,
but it's amazing that Path has avoided some of these pitfalls of like they haven't tried to sell you a dancing emote.
I'm really happy about that. Oh, I want to play Halls of Torment. That's the game. Sorry, it was bugging me. I was trying to think of the name.
That sounds familiar. Halls of
Uh,
Torment. I think I've seen it.
it's not new either.
Oh yeah. I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to play it. I don't know why I haven't. Just been fucking other games and other shit to fucking play. But it looks fun as fuck.
It's very it's like a homage to like very old like
Old graphics.
Diablo
Yeah,
games, yeah. But then just
it's
with
like
modern dynamics.
it's really cool. I love it when people make a game that is like old looking but new under the hood, and it's like it's nice.
It's kind of
Really
like
puts
the it almost feels like almost like the remasters of certain games where
yeah.
they don't change the formula, but they just add a little bit of extra flavoring. And then obviously the graphics and everything is updated. It just feels better. It's just like, oh, the loading and all that stuff. You don't have to insert 3 CDs.
Oh my god, dude. Oh, I feel so fucking
Yeah,
old.
like you play one of those older
Dude, you don't even have to go back all that far if you're really thinking
no,
about it.
like 5,
Solid
10
4.
years.
Metal Gear Solid 4 came out on 2 discs.
What was
You
it?
had this
The one so there's 2 specific games that I had to struggle with the most. Well, 3. Resident Evil. That had two or 3 discs. Uh, Parasite Parasite Eve, which was like a Final Fantasy. I want to say clone, but adjacent. It was just like a weird. You got to look it up. Look up Parasite Eve. No way for me to describe that game, bro. It's just think of it Final Fantasy, but with like biological cells.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've actually played this game.
It's a
Yeah, I've played this game.
okay. I was hoping for a new one. Like, I wonder if anyone picked this IP up and come up with a new, like, updated, like 2024 Parasite Eve.
I think there's supposed to be a Parasite Eve remake for the PS5.
And then the other one was, I said Parasite Eve, Final Fantasy. What was the last one? Oh man, I'm drawing a blank.
There's a lot of Final Fantasies.
Oh, Final Fantasy. Yeah, Final Fantasy 8. Wait. What the squall? What's the 7?
No, 8, 9, 7. Because my favorite is 9, and 9 came on. I want to say 4 discs.
Yeah, and then at that point they were like, "Yeah, we can't keep doing this."
No, they came out with Blu-ray.
Oh, I skipped that. I didn't go that. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing this no more.
Yo, I'm gonna be like a little honest here. The Blu-ray was actually cool because it was way more data on it on that disc. Like it actually enabled some
Well, this
very
kind of was
interesting
like the whole DVD thing too. You know what I mean? Like when they first started doing DVDs
HD
instead of.
DVDs. But we all knew Microsoft was gonna fucking drop that football. Come on. No, everybody saw that shit coming, bro. You here, I'll tell you why. I'll actually tell you why. Do you know how many kids were able to get a PS3 because a Blu-ray player at the time, which a PS3 also was $1,000.
Yeah, yeah.
Easiest fucking yo mom. Hey, look, a $600 Blu-ray player. Oh, oops! It can play Grand Theft
And this
Auto.
and this was the age where they were amping up like Blu-ray movies. Like they were like,
And
bro,
remember
have
going
you
to like
seen
Blockbuster and
Avatar?
go,
I don't even think Avatar came out on Blu-ray, but it's like, have you seen X movie on Blu-ray, bro? It looks bananas.
gorgeous. Yeah, gorgeous.
They
I
forgot to mention that you need a 1080p TV too.
I actually very briefly got into the 3D TV and that kind of shit. So I had to get a 3D TV, get the fucking glasses, and then
Oof, I
yeah,
so sorry
yeah,
for
yeah.
you.
But
How was the
what
migraines?
ended up, it wasn't actually all that bad.
Oh, okay.
I
I hear
I
they gave like really severe migraines to people.
I used this a Sony set that I had, and it was okay for my eyes. It's just one of those things where like I couldn't watch two movies. Like I could like the pinching on the of the glasses where they weren't made slightly big enough, so things like that. Yeah, but like you
I
couldn't watch two movies, but one movie, yeah, dude. Avatar in 3D was the shit.
I will say this. I'm slightly disappointed at the 3D technology.
Only because it's not a hologram.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess you're right. It is a little
Like
slightly
I
disappointing.
when you first see it, right, and you're seeing the like, because remember, I do. You just mentioned it. Avatar on Blu-ray. It did exist on Blu-ray. It was one of the first movies I watched in like super high def with the 3D glasses, 3D on, and all that shit, dude. And it was gorgeous.
But
It was fucking
this
cool.
reminds me of the whole computer like I don't know what you call this, but like people who get into PC gaming and they forget that everything is everything works with each other. Like you can't buy a $4,000 PC and expect it to look great, because if you don't buy yourself a good monitor, you can't actually see shit.
Right.
The same way that just every monitor is not the same. You need to have a monitor with a certain amount of hertz and a refresh rate and all this stuff, and then color and then resolution. Like this
Speaking
all
of which, I'm actually going to be upgrading to a 144 hertz monitor pretty soon.
okay. And that's
I,
definitely
I
gonna help. Like, I mean, I don't know if that's gonna help you for your specific issue with Path, but
no, but
it's
it
gonna
will
help
help
you
with
with Metal Gear.
it'll help me. Yes, exactly. It'll help me with other shit.
Um,
Um, that because I realized a CPU is a little bit more expensive than a monitor would be right now because I can get a pretty good one for like $90.
Monitor.
So yeah,
Mm.
they're like on eBay, especially they're not all that bad. Not terrible.
Be careful with the eBay ones. Make sure they're refundable, because they sometimes come with a lot of dead pixels.
True, but I'm
And
also getting an ultra wide. I already know which one I'm buying. I looked at the reviews and everything.
they usually have it as they don't say it as refurbished. They don't say these things, but because they say brand new.
On
But
eBay, it does.
no. What I'm saying is that they'll say it like it's brand new, because let's say if I buy a TV, right? And I've had this happen a few times where I'll buy a monitor, take it home, plug it in, turn it on, and I see two dead pixels. I'll put it back in the box, send it, and take it back to the store. The store basically tapes it up and then puts it back on the shelf. And eventually that box finds itself into eBay store. And they'll sell it back brand new because it is brand new. But the problem is, the issue with it is that it has two dead pixels. Now, if you're like me, one dead pixel is like, no, fuck that. right? But some people just don't won't mind it. Let's see that that pixel's in a corner or it's not in the middle of the screen. They're like, it's not that bad. But if you're paying $500, $300, $200 for a damn monitor, you don't want it for it to come with the pixels.
No, I understand that completely. Like I'm actually pretty stringent on that, but I also am pretty stringent on saving money on eBay when I can.
No, of course.
But hey, I do
I mean, I
understand
would
like
thrift
refunds.
store, not thrift store, refurbished. Like they're not bad because they at least like stores that sell refurbished gear, it goes through a testing. So
Yeah,
they plug it in and make sure everything's good. You just may not have the original box. You may not have some of the original documentation, but you no one cares about the documentation. You can get that online. You don't have to worry about that.
a good fair bit of the stuff that I get is refurbished just because of huge price differences. And you're right, they do go through the quality assurance,
Assurance, yeah.
but it's one of those things where like most of the places that I've called that or had an issue with, then I called the place. I'm like, hey, look, this is a problem. I think I got I ordered a controller. Controller had like a deep ass scratch on like the face of it, and I was just like, yeah, no. Called them, replaced it. They sent me a new one before I even sent the other one back.
Yeah, most places are pretty decent when it comes to for. And if even if they don't want to send, like they don't want it back for it, like I told you the story about my chair, they will give you like deep discounts for you to keep it. They were like I bought like almost an $800 chair for half the price. It came with like 3 scratches, and I bought it used. I bought it refurbished. I knew I did. And I was like, "What the hell is this?" And they're like, "Oh, we apologize. Would you like an extra 30% off?" I was like, "No, take the shit back." They're like, "Okay, how about
Would
a
you like an
60%?"
yeah.
I was sitting there like, hmm.
Oh yeah, they'll keep offering until you're
Yeah.
really pondering. You're like, all right, yeah, maybe,
I
all
was
right, fine.
afraid of them, like that 60% discount on top of the refurbished discount. I was like, you mean I
Did you
can
take
get a
it?
chair that was worth $700 for just $150? Yeah,
Right.
I'll take it. Sure.
Yeah. It's just like, all right, I'll save you the trouble.
And then you guys heard it when I sit back on it and it goes. It was like, oh, I was like, this is why it was refurbished. But it's fine. I
Wait,
don't care.
is it possible to like dip that shit in WD-40?
No, it is. I'm just lazy, and right now because I'm in a transitional period, I can't like spread it out and like really take it
Fair.
apart. I need some additional space, so I'll probably leave it until
So
for
you
the
move.
next couple of months, until I move, and that way I can use my wife's chair in the meantime. But she'll probably get pissed off at that.
Speaking of, I need to get a new chair. Where did you get this chair?
Amazon.
All right, yo, I'm gonna check that out. See if I can find
I
a good
chairs.
chair.
I almost always get refurbished chairs. Almost always. Because it's just most of them are like 50% off.
Oh my god, we're gonna have to name this like some random ass like POE then ramble. But just talking
Gearing
about
up, we're
random
gonna call
shit.
it
Go back.
gearing up for league launch.
This is true.
Gearing up
But
for league launch. You have to make
I'm
sure that
actually
both your strategies are down, your what you're gonna do for party play, what your league starting, what kind of monitor you have, is
yo,
everything.
actually, side note, I think I want to do the Orabont this party play.
Wasn't you Orban last thing?
No, you were. No, me was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
You
think I
said
want to.
that. By the way, you said that last week too. You said it was going all
Yeah,
about, and you
I
didn't
did.
go.
But because me was gonna do it, and then I was having fun culling.
I would do Magic fine, right? I would do that, but
I don't think it's gonna be as good this league.
I just don't know enough. I feel like I'm not like intelligent
Yo,
enough to understand the
as
math.
as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure me and you can easily help you with that. I know I could. I have the knowledge. I still have the character.
Oh, that's true. You could just like copy and paste the, the items.
Yeah.
It's just the math behind it. It kind of like, uh, this is enough. Like,
Well, actually, it's actually really easy to calculate, but you have to pull out an actual calculator.
Mm,
That's the issue that becomes it. It's I think the one that I made was 80%, 80 to 90% quant, and like 480% rarity,
mm.
something
But
along
it
those
may
lines.
not be giga juice like lastly, but it's still going to be relevant.
Oh yeah, yeah, it'll definitely be relevant. So maybe that means it will make me fucking do the carrying. You'll do the calling.
Yeah, he won't have no problem like doing that. Like either way, either one, he'll have no problem doing. Because
Yeah,
typically
I
he
also
already is a carry in most
that's
situations.
true.
He
That's
already
true.
typically has
That's
a carry decked out by the time we get to end game.
But yeah, I'm excited. Not
Yeah.
like I'm not as excited as I was last league, but I'm excited. I think, but I also think that like coming at it with a more temperate mind might mean I play longer this league. So
Well, I think we it's because we know how far can we ride this high. Like we've been riding high on these leagues for the past year. And I think
true.
we're tempering our like it might be a bad one. Like like we trying to
Getting
temper our
close.
excitement a little bit so we don't get too bummed out. But yeah, like they've been coming out with so many bangers that's like kind of hard to like we. I think if I remember correctly, I don't think we were we were optimistic of last league. We had no idea how great it was going to be. And I
Yeah,
remember Trials of the Ancestors. We were like super like, yo, that's dope. And then as soon as it came up, I was like, oh, this is trash.
yeah. I did not like that content at all.
Yeah. So, it's
That shit
it's
pissed me off in so many ways, dude. There's so and that of course that was the league. I wanted to be like, dude, playing a melee isn't that bad. I'm gonna play a fucking COC Cyclone. Watch me. And I did. And in mapping, you got to admit that character was a beast.
yeah, without for
But
the
Jesus Christ, dude, there was nothing I could do about those fucking
everything.
goddamn Dakota
Everything.
creatures, dog.
Yeah, everything. It was just ridiculous.
I hated
Um
it.
the one thing I'll probably end with is probably that I'm a little worried about the fact that the content is not skippable. I'm a little just I'm a little concerned. I'm like, I hope this doesn't really affect us in a it only affects us in a positive way. Like if I don't want to interact with the league content, it's just like a minor nuisance, like almost like an essence boss that you can't skip. Not an essence
Yeah,
boss, an essence creature you can skip. Like but I can still run away from it and like just
yeah,
keep blasting to the map, right? I hope it's something like that, and which I think they did reveal it that it's relatively gonna be like that. It's gonna be spread across all them. But it's like if it gets too much, especially when you start doing maps, it's gonna add an element of difficulty to maps that I feel is gonna be a little bit overwhelming, especially for new players. Like a tier 5 map is gonna feel like a tier 7 map
yeah. I'm
because it's just
thinking
those creatures.
either that, but they did say like the way that you can manipulate it, you can make it easier on yourself. But I'm wondering how far that goes.
But again, but if I don't want to interact with it, it's still being
Well,
pushed down my throat.
true, but it does give like I think there's a balance of like it actually gives good information, and you can ignore it if you want. And I think what ends up happening is it ends up being essentially a normal map. You don't know what's going on until you start killing shit and you look at the mods. But when you're going into it, you have the choice to gather information and to maybe change something up or look at something a little differently or change up your play style.
Yeah.
Like I think that's a good balance.
I
Like
think it's two, but I just worried about the hidden added modifier to your map. When I mean by hidden, it means like it's just let's assume that you press tab and you look at the modifiers in your map, right?
mhm.
Because of this content, you have to understand that there's hidden ones now. Hidden ones meaning that they're a part of those creatures, not necessarily the entire map.
But that's just if you decide to ignore everything. Again,
Well, I
you know,
mean, yeah, if you're not interacting, you're just like mapping blast.
but that's
Boom,
the same
boom, boom.
thing with doing any sort of like It's I don't see that as too much different as a normal map, unless you're getting like the random Brutai or some shit. But I think again that's supposed to be like tier 17 maps only. I can't imagine something that would pop up.
We we're gonna have to take a second to do these goddamn corpses, and if we're doing party play, we're gonna have to take a second, like, okay, because
Well, from what I understand, you can gather corpses.
yeah, but that's the
You're just
thing. Like,
no,
you're
no,
gonna
no,
have
no.
to.
You're gathering corpses, and then you go to the thing later and plant. It'll be something that we don't do.
No, 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 no. So when you go into a map, the window's gonna pop up with the corpses and the creatures that are in there with modifiers. You have to kind of play around as to see how
Right.
you
Oh, I
want
see
it.
what you're saying now. I thought you meant the other
That's
part of
yeah,
the
that's what I'm saying. Like those hidden modifiers, you have to pay attention to because you can potentially run into some rippy ass shit.
yeah, probably.
And that's a force that you can ignore it and go in it, but that means that you're going in there kind of blind. It's almost like a corrupted, unidentified corruption map. Like you, like, and if we're spending 2, 3, 4 divs on a map, you know, what I mean, we gotta be extra careful. So we're gonna have to take that extra, 30, 40 seconds to figure out
Yeah, but
if
I think
this.
it's one of those things where, like, as we get used to it, if, like, for instance, while we're leveling, it might not be the best idea to sit there and spend 5 minutes per what's it called to do it. But understanding what mods roll on it, it might be good to take a glance at it just
Yeah.
for those particular reasons. And I'm sure, just like when you go and you look at an item, you generally know whether it's good or not. You know what I mean? I'm not talking like specific. You like, for instance, like you right now, if something dropped on the floor and you randomly picked it up and identified it, and it was like something crazy, like worth like 90 div, you know, you'd be like, I don't know if what this is worth, but it's worth something. You've gotten to that area of time, I'm sure.
Fair enough. Fair
So
enough.
it's especially if we're doing party play, you quickly identify. You're like you're looking out for one or two mods that'll kill you. You know, a couple good mods that'll be like really good on multiple pack creatures. So I just assume like you'll get better at it and faster at it as the league goes on, especially if you're not like super obstinately forcing not to interact with the league. Which again, me and you were talking about earlier. If you don't want to interact with the league, why the fuck are you playing the league?
I wish I could give you a high five.
Yay!
Like that's a fucking perfect way to fucking end it. Like it's just like I it just yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Perfect. Everybody, press buttons. It was really nice to talk to you guys and chill. And I hope you have a good night. Anything to say, Cass?
No, man, I'll catch you guys. So catch the question that we want to put. I'm gonna put it as, are you a crafter? If you're interested and you wanna, explore possibilities of being a crafter for us, do that, and we will have further conversations. If I start getting like 1,000 requests, just know you're probably not gonna get a message. So, first come, first serve. Um, the
Nah, I'll give it like the first 20.
All right, so I'll send them over to you. Um, so look out for that. Launch day. So this is gonna come out tonight and on Wednesday, 28th or 27th, whatever. Because it's after 12 o'clock. So that's gonna come out today, but we're probably gonna be launching, obviously doing our launch videos for league launch. Usually, typically, we'll do a few hours with that, but I think for this league, I'm probably going to do an hour. They tend to get a little long, and I tend to record the entire session. Those recordings tend to be very thick. They have like 20 gigs worth of 1080p, recordings, and I feel like it's excessive. So we might just do an hour just to kind of introduce the Necropolis, and then we'll probably do a recording afterwards of like reflecting on it a day or two afterwards. So, and then just catch our channel for most of that information.
Fair.
And well, yeah, that's it.
Have a good night, people.